All right, so here with Kirk Debate, a college student, and of course, a lady will be sharing her real life, you understand, story about abortion. But then I think that is something that some of us need to listen to it because it can be able to like help to change your perspective. So without any further ado, let's get on to this video and check this out.
Oh, yes, ma'am. I want to hear from you. So, can you say your name?
Taylor.
Taylor, I don't want to put you on the spot if you're not
no, you can't. I talk
uncomfortable.
about it.
So, have you had a child since? Can you talk about your story, please?
No. So when I was 23, I got pregnant. Wasn't planned. And I decided I was going to do the right thing. Came from a Christian family. Abortion was always off the table. At 18 weeks, I found out that my amniotic sac tore and attached to my baby's spine. It was pulling her spine out and filling her brain with fluid. And the doctor said, there's no other option. This is what we have to do. So I did induce labor and I gave birth. That was the grounds. I said, I'm not doing this unless. So I wanted to hold her. I wanted to, yeah. So afterwards, when I started getting bills, the doctor said, well, your life wasn't actually at risk of death in that moment. It could have been eventually, but it wasn't then. And so the pain that abortion caused me, I stayed in an abusive relationship for a year. I allowed a man to beat me because I felt so little about myself. I drank, I used drugs, and if it hadn't been for Jesus Christ, my Lord and Savior, I don't know where I would be. So.
First of all, you are healed and forgiven.
Yeah.
And one day you'll meet that little one in heaven.
Amen. Yeah.
And I want you to have that as comfort.
Yes.
Because it says in the scriptures, God gathers the least of these in his hand. And I believe that speaks to the unborn.
Amen.
And I'm going to ask you a question. Mm-hmm. Do you believe that the medical industry lied to you?
Absolutely.
Talk more about that, because we're told to trust doctors. And if you, what would you have done? Would you have brought that baby to term? Because 18 weeks is before a baby can usually survive outside of utero.
Correct. But so giving birth to her, I was holding this little child. I mean, she was a baby. She had hands and nails, and I mean, she was alive. And in holding that baby, I knew, I was like, well, I had no right to take her life. And I felt like I was put in a position to choose that. And my mom, she talks about how she's like, I'm sitting there listening to a doctor say that my daughter's going to die. And I didn't know what to do. And so we all felt this pressure and this pushing to abort my daughter. And that wasn't the case.
What is your advice for women that are being lied to by doctors right now, where they're being told something of that case?
That death does not heal anything. And so taking her life didn't heal me. It didn't, I mean, if anything, my life was worse off. I wish that I had gone to term. I wish that, well, I wish that if she was going to pass, I wish she had passed in me without me choosing to take her life, is what I wish would have happened. And I do know a woman who shared her story with me, and she chose that route, and she didn't die. I mean, nothing happened, but she did pass the baby naturally as well, and the baby died naturally in her. But
I meet hundreds of women that, first of all, doctors say that your baby will die, and that's just not true. The baby ends up being perfectly healthy. Why do you think doctors are so intent on death? Like, what is that all about?
Well, I think that at the end of the day, it is money in their pocket. I hate to say it, but abortion is money. And I mean, I think that death has been so, sorry. Okay. I think that death just is, we've been so brainwashed that death isn't a big deal. Abortion's not a big deal. It's just, it is what it is. The doctor looked at me and he said, hopefully I see you again in a year. Like, it was just, So.
Thank you for sharing your story. I know how hard that is. And I hope that it's part of God's plan to bless you with more children.
All right, Charlie. So here's my question. So this morning you tweeted that only 51% of people of faith plan to vote in this election. And you said that Christians shouldn't expect Trump to have a more Christian ethos if they aren't going to turn out for them. Does that sound about accurate? Okay. So I think it should be the other way around. Why should America First Christians vote for Trump when he has come out saying he will be actively pro-choice by vetoing a national abortion ban, also saying that he is going to attach green cards to diplomas, which is putting the people of other countries before Americans, and also escalating tensions in the Middle East by calling for Israel to strike Iran instead of peace deals. So what do you think?
Okay, so just so we're clear, do you vote? Who do you plan to vote for?
I'm not. I've always planned to vote Trump, but I'm not sure now.
Okay, got it. So on all those regards, do you think Kamala would be better?
Maybe a little on the Iranian one. None
Wow.
of the
Okay.
others.
Wow. Okay. So, but let's it's fine. Let's talk about the issue of abortion. So, will Donald Trump overturn the 10 states that have abortion bans?
No, but he did talk in favor of expanding pro-choice in Florida.
Well, no, that's not true. Actually, he said he was going to vote against the abortion amendment. So that's not correct.
Yeah.
Kamala Harris will nationalize Roe versus Wade, which would overturn 10 pro-life laws that have gone into effect in 10 states. Which president repealed Roe versus Wade?
It was Trump's 3 judges.
Right. So shouldn't there be a little bit of gratitude for the president that gave us the greatest pro-life win in
Yeah.
American history?
I agree. Loyalty is important, and that wouldn't have happened.
Yeah,
without
for
Trump.
sure. Well, no, we did. It did happen under Trump.
I said it wouldn't have happened.
Oh,
without
okay, great.
Trump.
No, for
Yeah.
sure. Yeah, and I could see you're coming at this from a good place. But let's look at what Trump did for the issues you cared about. Number one, on the green cards thing, he's clarified that, so that is not his stated position. Number two, you obviously care about the southern border and what's happening on the southern border. Under Kamala Harris, 10 million people have come across the country illegally. Under Donald Trump, border crossings were at an all-time low, right? Number two, when it comes to immigration, Donald Trump has always said that he wants Americans to be put first when it comes to employment and for jobs. But you asked about people of faith. If we do not show up in big numbers, politicians will read the script that we provide them. And if we as Christians don't vote, then why should we expect our politicians to ever respond to our core values or our core sentiments? Trump gave us amazing justices and judges that protected religious liberty, protected religious freedom, and also I'm sure you care about guns, right? You care about the Second Amendment?
Yeah.
What would Kamala Harris do to your Second Amendment?
She would definitely not be for the Second Amendment.
For sure. So I'm not saying Trump is your perfect fit. I'm sure you'd like to have someone more pro-life, but the pro-life movement needs to survive. And under Kamala Harris, she has said that she'll make pregnancy resource centers illegal. She'll use the Department of Justice to go after Catholic priests and people of faith that practice on a daily basis. So Donald Trump will allow you to continue to practice your faith, allow you to continue to have religious liberty and freedom, and I bet you can agree that he is at least better on these issues than Kamala Harris, not a perfect fit for you.
Yeah, I would, just to be clear, I would never vote for Kamala
No,
Harris.
for sure.
all the
But
reasons
let's
you
be
said.
clear though. No. But I love that. But not voting for Trump is kind of a passive vote for Kamala Harris.
I understand that. However, how Trump, I think that in order for us to get him to support the things we want him to support, our only real tool is the vote. And if we were to say withhold our vote unless he stops sort of going more liberal in some areas, what's stop him from just trying to win over people on the left while straying away from right
So I just want to
policy?
understand your calculus. Your calculus is we don't vote and then he'll listen to us?
I mean, yeah, if some people say that they're not going to vote for
Yeah.
him, then he's going to want to change his policy to be more reflective of the
Yeah,
people.
that's really foolish 30 days out from an election. Okay, that's not smart. In fact, that's the way a Democrat operative would talk. Okay, but
You caught me.
but I just want to ask the question though. It's less about Trump or Harris. When you win a presidency, you fill the cabinet with 5,000 appointees, right? You staff the government 5,000 people. Which team of people would be a better fit for your worldview? Donald Trump or Kamala Harris?
Trump.
Yeah. So wouldn't it be fair then for maybe you to hold your nose, trust God a little bit, say that this is not my perfect fit, but I'm going to say that those 5,000 people will at least be able to do a better job fighting for life, secure borders, so then we can get an even more pro-life candidate in the future.
Yeah, that makes sense.
God bless you. Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you. All right, yep, coming up. Thank you. That was a very good question, though. It was well intended. Thank you.
Well, that's a very unfortunate incident, listening to this very young lady explaining what happened to her before she go for the induced abortion that she had. Well, first of all, let's look at the source of some of this problem. First, she was in a relationship, and then the relationship was an abusive, you understand, one. And then this is one thing that we Africans normally says that it takes a community to raise a child. This information is actually for parent or guardian. If you are actually innocent taking care of people, then I think that this information innocent is for all of us, because this lady, first of all, she was in an abusive relationship, and then that resulted for the man to be beating her, and then that resulted for her innocent to start having problems innocent with the pregnancy. Before we can talk about innocent the health industry, to whether the doctor in a sense saying that she should go for abortion, to whether it is right or wrong. So first, in a sense, I want us to tackle in a sense the source first. The source is abusive relationship. How can we prevent this type of relationship? Now, many women in a sense have find themselves in a sense in this type of situation, that this very young lady in a sense find herself to the point that she end up in a sense losing her child. And then that is the reason why when I start up in a sense, when I start talking in a sense in this video, I says that it takes a community to raise a child. And then we believe this in a sense in Africa is not just only for parent or only for guardians, but then it's for the whole community. Now it's now left for us or every parent or every guardian to educate in a sense their children, their sons, and then even the women, not to raise hands, you understand, on women. By so doing, understand, we can be able to like help prevent some of these things. And then immediately we begin to look at, you understand, our spouses or the people we have a relationship, you understand, with as our own sister or as our own body. At that point in time, you understand, we are not going to raise our hands, you understand, on them. Talk more of, you understand, us talking about, you understand, beating them up to the point that they can end up, you understand, having problems, you understand, when it comes to them have been pregnant, and then because of the abusive relationship or how we treat them, you understand, making some of them, you understand, to have miscarriage. I think that is not, you understand, actually a good thing, because if things like that in a sense was handled well, first of all, she could have not even have problems in a sense with her pregnancy. Talk less of to talk about in a sense going to the doctor to seek for advice, that he was saying that she have to go for the induced in a sense abortion that she end up in a sense doing. Now, to whether the doctor's innocent advice was good or bad, you understand, I can't be able to ascertain, you understand, to that. But then if we look at, you understand, it, you understand, this very way, even though according to the Christians innocent faith, of course, we could not innocent encourage innocent people for them to go into innocent abortion, because we feel that children innocent are blessings, and then since they are blessings, irrespective of how innocent they come, is better for us innocent to allow them innocent to live, and not just about us innocent taking their lives. Since of course we all have these programs and this adoption innocent list, people are even waiting and wishing innocent they have children. So instead of innocent to terminate innocent such innocent pregnancy is not something that we are encouraging. But nevertheless, the story of this very young lady was a very touching one, because if she could have not been innocent in an abusive innocent relationship, her daughter could have survived, because as she was talking about innocent, when after the induced innocent abortion, how she was holding the baby and all those things, it was so very emotional. And then for people innocent who wish innocent to bear children or to have children, innocent, listening to her story, innocent, it really touches, innocent, my heart. I don't know, innocent, for some of you who are actually listening, innocent, to this very story, but then I was so much innocent touched about what this young lady innocent was discussing about her experience. And then for the health innocent industry itself, well, I know that circumstances innocent makes people innocent to take some kind of decision, but then I feel that instead of them to be in rush to suggest that people innocent should go for the induced innocent abortion, I would be like, maybe probably if you go to the hospital, and then maybe probably some of these health innocent pathologists innocent give you an advice on what you need to do, I think that maybe probably you should go to another hospital, run a test, let them run a test innocent on you to see if they are going to give you same information before you make a decision. Because if you look at it, the doctor says that of course her life, you understand, will be at risk, so the best thing to do is for her to go or to opt for the abortion. But then one thing that makes me feel bad was when the lady says that after the abortion and everything, when she was going, then the doctor says that I hope to see you in a year's time. So it means that he was just praying for such strategy to happen for people like that, in a sense, to come to the hospital so that they can be able to perform some of this induced abortion on them, so that them too can also gain money. Like, I feel that we don't have to be playing with people's, you understand, life like that. I feel a little bit hurt, you understand, for hearing, you understand, a doctor, you understand, saying such, you understand, a thing. It's not, you understand, a good thing. And then the lady is actually mourning whatever, you understand, that happened. And then you are there, you understand, praying that, of course, that she should come back, you understand, in a year time. I think that, you understand, it was not nice like that. So that's why I am suggesting that in situations like this, when you go to a hospital and then they run a test on you and they told you that this is what it is, maybe probably you need to undergo this artificial abortion, or should I say induced, innocent abortion, then it will be a good thing for you to go to another hospital for them to check the problems or check the situation and see if, you understand, they are going to give you a different, you understand, result before you take a decision. Because the moment they told her that she won't be able to survive it, and then it was for her to choose between the baby and her life, you know, and in that kind of situation, and then her parents were like, oh, nah, then maybe probably they should rather save her, you understand, and not, you understand, the baby. And then from there they end up, you understand, making whatever decision, you understand, to make, and then to whatever the doctor was saying, to whether it was right or wrong, we do not know. But it is only God, you understand, that knows better. And then one thing, you understand, I'll have to say, or I want to say to some of this health industry, is that I know that, of course, your work, you understand, demands you to make this kind of harsh decision when people, you understand, found themselves, you understand, in this kind of situation. But let's not allow money, you understand, to make us, you understand, forget about our values, or to forget that we are human first, and then therefore put the money first, you understand, and then therefore the life of the people now become, you understand, seconds. No, please, let's put the life of the people, you understand, first, and not, you understand, necessarily about money, because we are actually, you understand, playing with people's, you understand, life, which I feel that, you understand, is not, you understand, a good thing. So please, let's take it easy, in as much as, of course, we know that, of course, we need to work, we need to do things, you understand, in order to make the money, in order for you to even have your own living. But nevertheless, let's not be playing with people's life because of all these things, and make her to end up, you understand, not able to have the baby. To whether maybe probably she could have maybe give it a trial and then trust in God to see if things, you understand, could have worked out, we do not know. But nevertheless, she decided to listen to your advice, and then this is where, you understand, she end up, you understand, finding herself. So my advice to people, you know, who might be in this kind of situation is, please, if you go to a hospital, they run a test and they tell you that this is what it is that you need to do, then I think that after you have listened to them, go to another hospital again, let them do the same procedure, you understand, on you, and then we now from there you can ascertain and tell which one, you understand, is the better decision that you need to take. Because I will not love it, you understand, to happen in this way, that maybe probably you feel some kind of, you understand, regret, maybe probably if maybe you could have decided to keep it, you understand, or not. But nevertheless, if she could have not been, you understand, in an abusive relationship, things like that could have not happened. Of course, I know that some parents, you understand, will love to share their thought and opinion concerning this, and just like how I say that we in Africa, we could say that it takes a community to raise a child. So please don't be, you understand, in rush, you understand, when you are making a decision when it comes to having a life partner, because when you get it wrong, this is where you are going to end up, you understand, finding yourself. If you feel that, of course, the person, you understand, is having issues or having problems when it comes to temperament, it will be a good thing for you to seek an advice, you understand, from a counselor or from your parent or your guardian first before making a decision to go on, you understand, to get married to someone else. Otherwise, sometimes some of these things, you understand, could lead to divorce and some of these things. So to prevent some of these things, it will be better, you understand, for you to take your time, you understand, in making such a decision, or take your time to try to know the person, you understand, to some point. And then that is the reason why some maybe churches could say that maybe probably go for counseling for 6 months at least. That can be able to like help for you to try to know the person a little bit. I know that 6 months may not be still be enough for you to know the person, you understand, totally, but then some of the basic things, all right? And then if maybe probably you feel that maybe there are some certain things that you are not okay with them, then I think that you can take a decision so that you don't have to make a rash decisions that will end up in a sense affecting your life. Of course, I know that a lot of you have thought an opinion in a sense concerning this, and I wanted to drop it at the comment section, and may God bless you as you do so. So this is the end of my video. If you like my reaction, you should like, share, and subscribe. And if you have any video you want me to react to, don't forget to drop it at the comment section, and I'm going to check it out. So you remain blessed, and I see you in my next video. Goodbye.